wait in vain for you. I don't wanna wait in vain. From the very first time I placed my eyes on you, girl, my heart says follow, but I know now that I'm way down on the line. But the waiting feeling's fine. So don't treat me like a puppet on a string, 'cause I know how to do my thing. And don't talk to me as if you think I'm dumb. I wanna know when you're gonna come. I don't wanna wait in vain for you, love. I don't wanna wait in vain. I don't wanna wait in vain for you, love. I don't wanna wait in vain.
Well, thank you very much, and a very good evening to you all. This, of course, is Aaron's Opinion, the podcast for blind people where we talk about critical issues in the blindness community. I'm Aaron Richmond. Tonight, like all other episodes, is copywritten by me, Aaron Richmond, and Aaron's Opinion. Thank you very much. And of course, you can hear this podcast right here on YouTube, or Anchor, or iTunes, or Spotify, wherever you guys listen. We appreciate all the support from all over the world. All right. If you would like to contribute to this podcast and this episode, of course, you can send me an email at aaronsopinion6@gmail.com, or text or call anytime 1-240-681-9869. Also, consider becoming a patron on my Patreon page. I would appreciate the support. You know, did that remind you of something that I did over the summer? You know, when you guys push play on that video, you probably thought that you would hear my voice. But no, actually, when we have musicians come in, we like to get very musical very quickly and then let me introduce them after the fact, after a beautiful song. We're joined this evening by Theophilus. A beautiful name, fascinating name, and a great musician, if I say so myself. That was a great piece. So what is that piece called, and the composer and all of that? Please give it a citation, of course.
All right, that's Waiting in Vain by Bob Marley, one of my favorite singer-songwriters. So the softer side of Bob Marley, one of his beautiful love ballads. So
excellent. Well, very good. And so, well, Theophilus, it's your first time on Aaron's Opinion. So, you know, you can take this however you want to take it, man. You can talk about your journey, maybe, you know, if you were born blind like me, or maybe if you lost your vision as an older adult, or you can talk about the music and how you got into that, or talk about your life in the order that it happened. So over to you. Talk. Go right ahead.
Sounds good, Aaron. Thanks so much. Well, I've been blind for about 15 years due to diabetic retinopathy.
Oh, yeah.
Retinas. Left eye totally blind, right eye I have just a little peripheral vision in one eye, so I basically see lights, shadows, and silhouettes. And I've been that way for 15 years. It went away pretty quickly. That January of 2005, I started with the first little dot of retinal detachment, and by that December, I was declared legally blind. So being blind, you know, after the first few years of adjustment, trying to think of how I could be gainfully employed, and went back to what was once a hobby, playing music. So I've been playing music since I was 10, 11 years old. But after you know, my retinopathy, was definitely, you know, looking to get back into it full time. So at that point, you know, I started tinkering a little bit, played with a couple of different groups, and my main instrument is actually electric bass. But you know, so started getting back to playing some bass and upright bass, playing jazz. And luckily I had a lot of tunes memorized already, so I didn't need to read sheet music anymore for those kind of tunes. And then just the way the economy's been going, club owners are less and less paying for full bands and more just hiring solo musicians. So also being blind afforded me some more time to practice up on my vocals and other instruments. So I now have a one-man show where I play keyboards, I play drums on little mini pads, I play my guitar, I bring my upright bass on a stand, and I'll lay down all the parts and sing over the different things. So you guys actually can check me out. I have a YouTube page. I forgot to tell you too, Aaron. It's called The Blind Bassist. Yeah, Bassist.
Sure.
I called it The Blind Bassist because at the time I was primarily a bass player, freelancing, playing mostly jazz and some folk music as well. And but now that I'm I'm thinking of rebranding my channel to I was thinking of calling it Blind Theo or Blind Teo, just to illustrate the other things I do. So like I said, playing music since I was preteen, and using that talent to build a business. And I'm also I have a DBA. I hire other subcontract musicians. I'm also a booking agent. Like I said, I blog and doing the YouTube page as well. So trying to keep myself busy. And also 5 years ago, I met the woman of my life who I'm now married to. And at first I was a little worried that I wouldn't be able to take care of her and her children. We have 3 kids together. Well, my stepkids, I call them my kids. But that's really what motivated me to get really hardcore into recreating my music career. So COVID's put a little damp in that right now, but luckily, because I follow my paperwork, I was able to get unemployment. So able to, keep the bills going. But yeah, I definitely need to get back out there and let other people in the community see what I'm doing and maybe get some love that way too. So get some shares.
Well, I'm really glad you came in this evening, because now that you're talking to me, we're going to make sure that people know about your YouTube channel. And you guys can click the link in the description for more information. So if you give me the YouTube link, I will put it in the description. And I will certainly share this video on my pages. And we will definitely get you out there. I got into podcasting, Theo, about a year ago because, I was listening to a lot of podcasts, for blind people, or you know what I mean, podcasts that were, directed towards a blind audience, I suppose. And I felt that they just weren't really approachable, approachable. And as you can probably tell, or might have had the impression of, I'm someone with a lot of opinions. I love to educate people. I love to talk. And this is just something I just love doing. My job, if I'm not podcasting, is I teach online. I'm an online teacher. So if I'm not here, I'm still talking because I love doing it. So but one gap or one shortcut that I want to be able to present to you, and I've presented it to others, and I can tell you a little bit more in detail off the air another time. But other people have taken me up on this. That if you have a website that you need me to promote, I would be more than happy to promote it for you in the comments of my videos. There's some extra little information I'll share with you about it at the end of the show off the air. But I am truly determined to help other blind people in real life, not just help other blind people, in our imagination. So I truly am determined to help you spread your message of music, and to be able to make connections, in the industry, and truly be able to help people. So I'm
That's
so
a great,
glad
wonderful
you're
thing, Aaron. And also my YouTube page, I like to kind of similar to you, I like to try to inspire other blind people to find their talent and try to make employment out of it, or, learn how to edit yourself, learn how to film. And I think it's important for us to get our stories out there. So that's another reason why I started my webpage. So you and I are like-minded in that, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Gemini, so I love to talk too. So
Cool. All right. So yeah, let's talk a little bit more. One thing that I think can be a very interesting topic is, so you said you're a booking agent. Now, believe it or not, I actually have interviewed other actors from Hollywood on this show, and a couple actors from Europe. And we were talking about the acting industry, and that's, it's a really fascinating topic. But the other topic that blind people want to know about is, so exactly what is a booking agent? What do booking agents do? How do you find a reputable booking agent, and how does the business side of this all work? Talk about it.
Well, I joined the Musicians Union at a very young age, 19 years old. And a lot of people don't even realize that there are musicians unions. And what that has afforded me is a list of local musicians that are also in the union. But that was when I was a kid, as growing up, and just making contacts, playing music most of my life. I have a long list of musicians I work with, and me being a bass player, playing very different styles of bands, I was able to put together a package, and I use a website called, I'm forgetting the name of it right now. Anyway, I have my collective is called the Cosmic Cats Music Collective, and it's a combination of all the different bands I play in, and I don't even necessarily have to be on the gig. So what it is a website, Gig Salad is the website, where you can put your band, individual bands can be on there, but also booking agents that have several bands they work with can be on there. And me as the bassist and the main contact person, I'm the one that handles the website. And as far as finding a reputable booking agent, that's something that's difficult to do. I'm a little bit more libertarian with the way I handle it. I don't take a leader's fee. I don't take a booking fee. I pay each musician equally. But that's because they're musicians I've worked with my whole life, and most of them are friends. And like I said, even if I can't make the gig that day, I'll call another friend who plays bass and say, hey, I'm putting a band together, I need you to play bass. They want, rock from the 70s or whatever the style is. So that's how I'm mainly doing it these days, through Gig Salad, but also through the Musicians Union. I'll get some cold calls through the union on occasion, looking for groups. Usually the union mainly call me for just my bass playing. But also, like I said, I've made a network. It's a lot of networking. It's a lot of keeping phone numbers. It's a lot of being professional, answering your phone whenever it rings, calling people back right away. And as far as finding an agent you trust, now that you just have to have. Oh, sorry.
No problem.
Dismiss the alarm. Okay, I don't know if I dismissed it or snoozed it. Let's find out. Let's hope. Sorry, I was setting an alarm to make sure we made this on time. I must have had my time zones mixed up. But yeah, that's it. As far as I trust the agents I was able to get through the Musicians Union, just because it's a collective of people. So you talk and meet other people and say, hey, is this agent cool? Make friends that know before you just plunge in with any random agent. But I don't sign any managerial contracts or exclusive agents. So it's mainly a finder. Like most of the agents I work with take a finder's fee. And I'll occasionally take a finder's fee if my bandmates insist, which sometimes they do. But most of the time we split it evenly with the musicians. So.
Really good. Really good. So yeah, you kind of, I guess the way I would put that, is you are a booking agent and you do work with people, but you do it more for the making the network, the networking and the connection and truly helping other musicians. You do it more for the art side, less for the business side.
Definitely. I do it mainly to help my other freelance musicians stay busy and stay working, and also to play music.
Cool.
And have a good time. There's nothing better than playing a wedding.
Oh no, I completely support that. But then it's also at the same time, when you help others and truly help other people in real life, it's also, in my private opinion, it is okay to make a little bit of money as long as you're truly helping someone else at the same time. So, yeah, but I totally understand that. Yeah. Sure.
Definitely. It's a great cycle because I book people, then they call me when they need a bass player. So it's, it's a big,
oh, sure.
Reciprocal relationships.
Oh no, and the same is true. Same is true with podcasting. Yeah, definitely. The good karma always comes back and helps. So definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that's really interesting. And okay. So as far as some of the other music that you like to play, what else can you tell us, or what other music do you have any interesting originals?
No originals that I can play solo, because my originals, I'm mainly playing the upright bass, and I can't handle the melody or my favorite form of music is jazz. most Americans form of music. You know, it's a conglomeration of all the different cultures blending, and it's also I think of jazz as the highest form of art because it's what I call conscious co-creation,
Yeah.
where as a painter, it's one painter painting, or a novelist, one novelist, or even a classical band that rehearses a single composer's written work. It's mainly the one person creating the art, and even in an orchestra, the musicians are reading that one person's art. Whereas jazz, we create the art simultaneously, and no rehearsal. We perform. And no, like I said, no rehearsing, so it's conscious co-creation. So you have to listen to your other musicians. You can't step on them. You accompany them, and then they let you accompany, and then you get your chance to solo. And so jazz is by far my favorite form of music, and also the most complicated. Being a musician and being primarily a bass player, it's one of the few forms of music where I actually get to solo and be as expressive. But my first paid gig when I was 14 years old, and this is pre-blindness, mind you, was a wedding, a Czech wedding. I live in just outside of Houston, Texas, and a small town I'm from. It has a large Czech population and a large Hispanic population. So funny, they hired me to play the polkas. So yeah, my first paid job, I was playing Czech polkas. But also country western, top 40. I was in a band when I was still in my teens that was playing mostly hits from the 60s. So I played a variety of music, and I love all kinds of music, including international music. Like I just played a reggae song, but I've also played some African Yorubas. Recently, our county has grown so much, a lot of international people here. So I played in bands with people from Africa, people from India, playing ragas, and playing son montuno, Cuban music, Afro-Caribbean music. So I'm very versatile and love all. I think to be in business and to be a freelancer, you have to be versatile.
Sure.
And as far as my solo acts that I've only been doing it about a year, where I'm playing guitar and singing. I'm mostly play in wine bars, so I'm doing a lot of 70s, 80s covers. But doing them my style, kind of jazzing them up a bit, changing. Maybe I'll change the key, maybe I'll change the feel. And it's funny, like I may play a song this week and play the very next same song next week, and it sounds completely different. So that's kind of my flow and how I approach playing. I still have a jazz sensibility even when I'm playing covers.
So good. Yeah, by the way, I was a flutist for most of my life, a classically trained classical flutist. And I totally understand what you mean about jazz, and I'm going to be I'm a pretty blunt guy, as a classical flutist, I never understood jazz. And I'm sure you know what that means. If you're trained to classically play stuff from hundreds of years ago, that jazz, it's cool, but it's perfect. It's perfect. And it truly is the epitome of America. And I will say that jazz is the epitome of American art and music.
I definitely
But it's not the same as playing things that were written hundreds of years ago, to which we have agreed were perfect a couple hundred years ago. So it's kind of a different.
What's interesting, I think, is actually, like, most people don't realize this. I'm also went to school for music, so I'm also classically trained.
Great.
But losing my vision, I couldn't, because I used to do a lot of musical theater shows too, and orchestra as well. But what is interesting is, like, J.S. Bach, Mozart, we know they were amazing improvisers.
Sure.
They make up things. So that's one thing that's been lost in a lot of classical music is we're not taught to improvise in school.
Right.
We spend a lot of time, studying music from, 1800s in Germany, but we treat it like museum pieces. We don't treat it like living music. And that's why I'm really into jazz, because it breathes and changes. I mean, you can listen to jazz from the 40s and it sounds way different than jazz from the 70s, because jazz music, is a living, breathing music that changes with the times. Whereas I think classical music should be that way too, but we've somewhere along the way lost the improvisation. A lot of instrumentalists don't write their own pieces. Because back then, a lot of, like Paganini would write his violin concerto, and he may not have written the piano part, but he wrote the the violin part and got with the piano player and said, "Hey, this is my part. Could you accompany me?" So I think it's definitely something that should be taught to classical flute players as well, how to
Okay.
improvise. So
Oh, yeah, no, but and you're 100% correct. I would imagine that hundreds of years ago, I think they did mostly improv because, um, I mean, maybe if you were in the famous orchestras of that time period, the Vienna Philharmonic playing for the king, then they would give you a piece of paper in front of you, but everybody else just play what start playing and hope for luck is probably what they told you back then. I think there was even more improv back then than today. Yeah.
right, they hope the king doesn't chop your head off because he didn't like what you played.
Yeah, it was even more risky. Oh, a question just popped up in my mind. What is the most, as far as jazz goes, of course, some of jazz obviously is written down to some point. What is the most concrete or the most classically written jazz? In other words, the least flexible piece of jazz music and jazz literature that you can't improvise with, or that is not improvisable, I guess. What do you think?
Honestly, most jazz has section, even if it is written, there are sections that have improvisation. So what I would suggest is Duke Ellington Orchestra. Some of his stuff, like the Black,
Mm-hmm.
Brown, and Beige concert, was very much, they called it third way because it was very similar to classical, but also had sections where people would solo over the pre-written parts. And then my personal favorite, Charles Mingus, especially he has an album called "Let My Children Hear Music," where it's very fully orchestrated. Not the classical orchestra. It's more like 5 saxophones, 5 trumpets, guitar, piano, bass. But it's definitely some oboe, some flute, some bass clarinet, which actually one of his musicians played all those amazingly. So we kind of switched the parts. But Charles Mingus, you got to check him out. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
third wave, my favorite composer of all time. So.
Definitely. Cool. All right. Um, so by the way, let's see. Where have you traveled to overseas?
Overseas, only I did a cruise ship for 6 months, and this was in my sighted days. So I haven't done much traveling since I've lost most of my vision. But the Caribbean, Cozumel, a few times in Mexico, but I've toured all over the states. So from Seattle to Miami, Orlando, San Diego, LA, San Francisco, New York, Boston, and everywhere in between, Chicago, Indianapolis,
Right.
a lot of college towns in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, Jackson, Mississippi, Huntsville, Alabama, Memphis, Nashville, of course, all over Texas. I'm from Texas. Santa Fe, Albuquerque, all over Colorado. I mean, all over Colorado. That's one of the main places we used to go all the time. So yeah, I've traveled a lot around the states, but unfortunately not that much outside the states yet. Yeah, hopefully soon.
Hopefully. Yeah, I've been all over Europe. I've been as far as one of the countries in Africa. I've been to the Caribbean. And yeah, I was going to do some traveling this year, but we just, in my situation is quite common. Um, I live with my family. I live with my parents and my brother. So we were going to take a trip, but we obviously got a little thrown off this year.
Well, yeah, this
From
year a lot of people got thrown off, so understood.
Yeah, we've gotten a little off course from that, but I think it's helped because I've gotten to spend a lot more time at work and then a lot more time on the podcast and really honing in on the YouTube and getting really enjoying producing all of these videos for you guys. So, I don't know. It's been an incredibly interesting year. So, okay, and have you been on other people's podcasts before, or
I'm
do
not. You're
you?
the first. You're actually the first collaboration I've done. So,
Oh,
and
wow.
I've only got about 30 videos on my channel. I recently haven't been producing content, so I need to get back to it. Well, and it's another thing we can talk about if we have another show. But blindness and also dealing with a little mental health. I'm bipolar 1 and had a bit of an episode because of COVID. So that's definitely
Well,
a lot.
I completely understand why. If you want, you can talk about it now if you would like.
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, that's something new that's why I haven't been making content lately. I want to start because, my channel started about, you know, talking to people about my blindness and how I went blind and adjusting to life as a blind musician. And like I said, the main reason for the channel was to try to inspire other blind people. And I know many of us in the community suffer from depression and bipolar, other things. So my next video, which I've tried to record a couple of times and just still not ready, but I'm gearing up to it. And actually working with you is kind of getting me back into the flow of making content.
Well, thank you. That's
So,
good.
but
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So I want to talk about my bipolar because, because of the pandemic, it's been hard on me. And performing live music is my therapy. So, all the bars closing down and the gigs going away, it was really hard on me. So I want to encourage other blind people not just to pursue their dreams, but also feel free to talk about the things that we go through that most people don't realize or maybe they don't know. Like I know I've met some people that think, oh, you're blind, all you do is sit around all day and you must have a chill life. And like they don't really realize, like, I mean, even simple things like brushing your teeth, you have to relearn to do it. How do you put the toothpaste on the tooth? I mean, they don't think about stuff like that. Or I mean, I've never let it hold me down. Like I cook for my family. I, do a lot of the cleaning. We have 3 kids, and the oldest has autism. So I still have a very active life. I'm still busy, but like I said, life sneaks up on all of us, and all of us have to be wary of our mental health. So luckily, I found some medicine that works for me, and good therapists that are helping me, conquer this and keep it in check because it's something you never lose. So yeah, that's going to be my next video, hopefully very soon, because like I said, talking to you is getting me out of the slump. I've been in a bit of a slump. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I want to talk about that because I know a lot of
Please.
blind people. And that's not just depression, but
Yeah.
a lot of us blind have other health problems.
Sure.
And
Sure.
things that we're afraid to talk about. So that's going to be my next goal.
And Theo, know that on that this podcast that you're on right now, I never make promises I can never keep, but the promise I can keep is that this podcast is the most open one. So if you need to talk, come to Aaron's opinion. I'm listening, and so
I really appreciate that. It's good to have friends and people willing to listen. So thank you.
But I'm not just saying it. I'm meaning it, and talk is cheap. Well, with me, you're going to get action. You're going to get action on your channel, and you're going to have a positive experience from this video forward. I promise. And awesome. And I think it's also fair to say that I think everybody is philosophically feeling a little down in the dumps this year. I don't think I believe you that you believe you that you have bipolar, and I completely am sympathetic to that. For one thing, 2 of my acquaintances from university had bipolar, like profoundly, like really badly, and it upset me because I saw how much it really destroyed their lives. It really disrupted their lives tremendously. One of which, both of them have to use medication, but like the serious type, and I'm very sympathetic to it. And I think it's an incredibly serious issue in our country as a whole that we are not caring for people who deserve care. But it's a whole nother can of worms. But I'm just saying, I think it's very strange that we as the United States of America find it very incredibly difficult to care for people. That's quite concerning. We're going to have some serious problems as a society at some point from that, probably. But I don't know. But I think everybody's feeling kind of, this whole year's been a, I don't think, my point is, yes, please talk about it on your channel. Please educate me about it. Please educate the world about it. Thank you for doing that. And
yeah, definitely will. Thank you.
I think everybody needs that, and I think everybody's feeling kind of blah. So yeah. But yeah, that is a critical issue that I see it all. I'll tell you one other serious story, and then it's so serious I'm gonna have to tell a joke or something because it's so serious. I was on one of the support groups, Theo, that we were on in the blindness community, and someone a person, mystery person, or Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous in the group was making suicidal remarks, and I thought to myself, that's horrible. That's really scary. So, I opened the post. This was about 6 months ago, or I don't remember when it was. I, opened the post with voiceover, scroll down, and the scariest thing of all was nobody in the group was believing the person. They were all telling jokes about it. They were all laughing. Oh, ha ha ha, you're so funny. Well, I didn't think it was funny at all. So, honestly, I had to speak up. So I showed my parents, to be quite frank with you, I showed my parents. And I said, look, what do I do? This is not okay. Someone needs to do the right thing. And they showed me, okay, well, here's the website that you can send this person. Well, I PM them. I PM Mr. Anonymous. I send the link, and everybody else in the group is laughing hysterically. And then a couple days later, I get a thumbs up from that person privately. So I wonder, and I didn't even know the person. I wonder, did I just save a life? I hope so.
You did the right thing, Aaron. And what people don't realize, 1 in 5 people with bipolar commit suicide.
Yeah.
So it is a very big problem. And it pains me that you said other people in the group were just laughing, because
it was really scary. Yeah, and it was really, and that was the part that scared me the most, was the fact that others do not have the kindness to realize that when someone's hurt that badly, you need to stand up and do the right thing for them. That was really scary. So
I think we should have empathy classes for kids in school or something, because I've seen a lot of that, unempathetic people.
Yeah. I mean, I have two sides to my personality. There are other evil people that I don't have sympathy for, but with certain things, you have to use your brain, and you have to think from your heart, and you have to think, you know what, this guy needs help. So, well, on a brighter topic, what are some of your hobbies that I would not expect you to do as a great musician or a booking agent? What are some of your other unusual hobbies out there?
Let me think. Honestly, music takes up most of my time. Learning new software, learning how to record music, which I've been doing. So I guess recording, but cooking is one thing. I love cooking.
Oh, my brother.
Before I lost my vision, but once I lost my vision, I just really love cooking.
That is so good. My brother loves cooking. He loves researching the recipes and getting all the ingredients. That's a wonderful hobby. What is your dream dish that you want to cook?
Oh, dream dish. I actually have made most things I've tried. Just like I said, I cooked before I lost vision. So one of my more exotic dishes, I guess, I'll grill the salmon, and I make my cheese sauce to go on top of it with some langostinos, which are I forget their type of shellfish, and crop, and put some different mussels or whatever in the sauce, as well as a cheesy sauce and a little Mexican rice on the side. My cooking is very Hispanic oriented. I learned from my grandmother a lot, so and I grill as well as cook on the stove, but any I'm a keto diet, so a lot of meat dishes. And that's another thing I could talk about, actually. Keto, I lost my vision because of diabetes, but was on a lot of diabetes medicine, and then I discovered keto diet about a year ago, and now I'm completely off all of my medicines, and my blood sugars are better than they've ever been. So,
and please remind me, what does keto mean again? I forgot.
Keto is a type of eating where you eat most of your calories from fat, because our bodies can be two types. We can be glucose burners or sugar burners, or we can burn ketones, which is burning, like when you haven't eaten for a couple of days, your body starts eating its own body fat for energy, and that's what's called being in nutritional ketosis. So lately, nutritionists have discovered that if you stay in a state of nutritional ketosis, it helps. Not only does it help you lose weight, it helps you regulate your blood sugar, your insulin levels, and cool little facts: infants are in ketosis most of the time, and mother's milk keeps them in ketosis because it's high fat content. So a lot of people think it's the preferred way our body likes to be. It also has to do with, like our ancestors didn't have a refrigerator to just go and, you know, grab food in the morning when they woke up. So they had to have the energy to go hunt down an animal or forage for food. So our system is smart. You're not gonna pass out because you haven't eaten. I know it scares a lot of people, but I've gone 7 days without eating before. And what it does, it puts you in the ketosis, and you find you're actually more mentally aware. You feel physically stronger, and like I said, you lose weight. Now, there's a lot of health benefits to it. So we should maybe do a podcast on keto diet, because I really think it's the most healthy way to eat.
Sure, we can. Yeah, I would love it if you want to do. You're always welcome to record as much as you can with me. So you're always welcome to record episode 2 where we talk just about dieting and things like that. Sure.
That would be great. Time for another song, or I'm asking. How much more time do we have?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely. Let's see. Yeah. I tell you what. Can you play? I'll give you one request and then one that you can pick. So I want you the request that I have. Actually, let's see how I want to do this, because I want to end it on the one that I really love. Yeah. Give us one that you want. Sure. Go right ahead.
Okay. Quick story. As like I said, I am bipolar 1. And I don't deal with the depression as much as I deal with the mania. And I'll get going. And, you know, it's part of being a musician. We're always excited. And if I let it get out of control, I'll go days without sleeping. And then I have trouble telling between dreams and reality. And that's why I'm on my medicine, because, you know, making sure I keep a steady schedule, making sure I sleep every night. But the hard thing about bipolar is the mania actually feels pretty good. So it's hard for a lot of people who have bipolar on the mania side to want to treat it. And that's something, I'm 45 years old now. It took till this time that I'm like, yeah, I got to study. Now that I have a family, like now I guess I'm treating it. But here's a little song about what it feels like being manic. And it's originally done by Gnarls Barkley. I changed it up a little bit, kind of do it a little me. So it's I remember when I lost my mind. Something so special about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without caring, yeah, I was out of touch. It wasn't because I didn't know enough. Just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Am I crazy? Possibly. And I hope you've been having the time of your life. But think twice. It's my only advice. And who do you think you are? Oh, bless your soul. You really think you're in control? Well, I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. Oh yeah, you're crazy. Just like me. My heroes have hearts, live their lives out on them. And I remember thinking, I wanna be like them. Ever since I was little,
Ever since I was little, it looked like fun. And it's no coincidence I've grown. I can die when I'm young. That make me crazy. That make me crazy. Am I crazy? Probably. I think you're crazy. I know I'm crazy. Oh yeah, I'm crazy. Most definitely.
Perfect. Yeah. And what was it? Please say the title composer for that one again. Yeah.
The band is called Gnarls Barkley, and CeeLo Green was the singer.
Right. And the song is what is it called? Crazy.
Called Crazy.
Good. Well, that's perfect. Excellent. So if someone, I want you to give your plug, and then there's a special way that I want you to end. But so if someone wants to get in touch with you, either from the music side, either way, how would someone get in touch with you?
So The Blind Bassist. You can find me on Facebook with that name, Instagram, and my email address is theblindbassist@gmail.com, and also my YouTube page is The Blind Bassist. 3 words. The Blind and Bassist, BASSIST.
Excellent, very good. And just for record, just for the recording, what was the first song you played when you came in today?
That was Bob Marley, Waiting in Vain.
Excellent. Okay, good. Cool. And of course, if you guys want to get in touch with me, complaints, compliments, concerns, questions, I'd be more than happy to hear from you. As I said, aaronsopinion6@gmail.com, 1-240-681-9869. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, comment below, follow on Patreon. This was a great episode. I am sure that we will have Theo as a contributor to Aaron's Opinion in the community. You don't know, you're in my community now, so let me tell you, it's a community.
Awesome.
I got a special coming right up for you. But there are 2 pieces of music that are so beautiful. But I loved your interpretation of Crazy. How about we walk out tonight with your interpretation of Imagine?
Imagine. Ooh, it's been a minute since I played that one. I used to play it on piano. Let's see if I can remember.
Imagine there's no heaven. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to live or die for. No possessions to. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. I wonder if you can. Okay, I haven't done that one in a long time, so I promise I'll come back and have all the words.
That was perfect. You know what? I love that. Okay, that was perfect. That was Imagine by, I believe, John Lennon, right?
John Lennon, yes, sir.
You got it. Okay, a really easy one to end it out. A really adorable, really cute song, really beautiful, really cultural. How about but this one? How about Bob Marley, 3 Little Birds? How about that?
3 Little Birds. Let me remember, because I changed the chords to do a medley with it.
Rise up this morning, there's cloud at the rising sun. 3 little birds outside my doorstep, sing a sweet song. Melody is pure and sweet. This is my message to you. See, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. See, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning and smile at the rising sun. 3 little birds outside my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and sweet. This is my message to you. Sing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Sweet, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Sweet, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna